Today, I'll be drawing cookies as humans from the amazing game Cookierun Kingdom, including drawing a special cookie from the newest update, Silent Salt Cookie. More on that later. First up is the toughest cookie in the universe, Ginger Brave. Ginger Brave is the main protagonist in Cookierun Kingdom, being the very first cookie that you get in the game. Or should I say, the first cookie to escape the witch's oven. While it's unknown how exactly this cookie came to life, rumor has it the witch accidentally messed up her recipe by using magic powder instead of ginger powder. Rookie mistake. He appears as a gingerbread cookie with white swirly hair made of icing, bright blue eyes, and 2 white icing skull buttons on his torso. He also wields a candy cane weapon used for fighting evil. Also, I gotta say, I will always love this image where it looks like he's T-posing with an absolute Chad face. Clearly one of the best images of all time. As his name implies, Ginger Brave is a very brave cookie. Not only was he born in the witch's oven and courageous enough to escape it, but throughout his journey he leads his friends along the way and encourages them to be brave just like him. Even when Ginger Brave is scared, he faces his fears and challenges the evil forces. He deeply cares for his friends and always goes to great lengths to protect them. As he always says, no cookie left behind. Ginger Brave even protects his friends from the truth of the fact that they're born to be eaten, not wanting them to know about his traumatizing experience escaping the witch's oven. Despite all that he has went through, he does his best to be optimistic and determined no matter the challenge, always fighting for what he believes is right. In English, he's also voiced by Jeremy Shada, the same person who voiced Finn from Adventure Time, which honestly makes so much sense as both Finn and Ginger Brave are pretty similar. His voice fits him perfectly. Being the first cookie that you get in the game, Ginger Brave is a common rarity cookie who is always in the front position during battle. His ability is Brave Dash, where he dashes forward and deals area damage to all enemies in his way. Out of all the cookies in the Cookierun Kingdom, it's pretty safe to say that Ginger Brave has the most simple design. But that's actually why I was so excited to draw him as a human, cause it just leaves a lot of room for me to add my own elements. He has a very simple fluffy hairstyle, and I also included some candy cane bits in his hair, since he is holding one. For his eyes, I wanted them to represent his bravery, so as a nice little touch I added a skull in there, just like the buttons I put on his vest. While I don't know his age, Ginger Brave seems like he'd most likely be in his teens, so I did give him a more youthful appearance. I wanted to give him the vibes of an adventurer, and naturally along his journey Ginger Brave would definitely get some cuts and bruises, so he has some band-aids on his face and arms. He isn't afraid to get a little roughened up in order to protect his friends. He's holding a candy cane that's resting on his shoulder, similar to how someone would hold a sword. I think he turned out very cool. Here is human Ginger Brave. Before we continue, I gotta tell you about Cookierun Kingdom's newest update. This update features the long-awaited episode 11 of Beast Yeast, Silence of Conviction. Along with White Lily Cookie, embark on a journey to discover new truths and explore the land of silence, where she meets Silent Salt Cookie, a terrifying beast cookie who wields the power of silence. This cookie is an ambush cookie positioned at the front. His skill, End of Silence, silences all enemies and slashes the moon, causing massive damage. And at the start of battle, Catacomb Rage targets the strongest enemies, unleashing divine punishment when fully stacked. And that's not all. Meet Charcoal Cookie, a magic cookie who uses ritual of spirit exorcism to summon tombstones, release spirits, and bind enemies. When enough power is gathered, he unleashes a light of purification. And when paired with Silent Salt Cookie, a powerful spirit energy is activated, amplifying chaos, debuffing enemies, and boosting Dark and Steel critical damage. There's also new character buff equipment, like the Grass element, and 2 new biscuits, Silent Salt Grass, Beast Biscuit, and Wind. And hold your horses, because there's 10 new special toppings and new cool treasures, such as the sealed candle of the cursed catacombs and the berry necklace. For a limited time, you can even play a fun new battle mode. Ride a tank as you defeat bosses before the time runs out. There's also a really cool new kingdom background skin you can get called the Silent Night. So if you ever wanted your kingdom to be extra spooky, here it is. And there's so much more. Needless to say, this update is packed. Don't even get me started on how good the new story is. No joke, it's gotta be my favorite so far. Download Cookierun Kingdom using the link in my description and play now. This game is amazing, and I know you guys are seriously gonna love it. And of course, I'm drawing the star of the update, Silent Salt Cookie. Silent Salt is the newest beast cookie and the main antagonist of this update. And honestly, he has one of the coolest designs so far, appearing with a spooky helmet with smoke-like hair flowing out. His outfit is very similar to a Dark Knight, and we can also see he wears a torn, flowy, long cape. But where did this cookie come from? Well, long ago, a group of 5 cookies were created as promised saviors to do good deeds for all cookie kind. But instead, they became evil and twisted, only bringing darkness and devastation. Originally, many of these cookies had virtues used for good, with Silent Salt Cookie's original virtue being solidarity, putting importance on uniting cookies together. But like the other beast cookies, he eventually became corrupted, becoming known as the Devil of Silence, and the virtue of solidarity he held has now been warped and twisted into the power of silence. When the beast cookies were stripped of their soul gems, they were given to the new ancient heroes, with Silent Salt Cookie's soul gem being ripped away from him and given to White Lily Cookie, then being locked away for a very long time. But Silent Salt Cookie Cookie has been freed from the seal and has returned to his domain, the Land of Silence. According to Charcoal Cookie, he took the lives of many cookies, destroying everyone within the land in a single blow. And not only that, he cursed their souls to be forever trapped in the Land of Silence, surrendering their souls to Silent Salt Cookie. While this cookie seems cruel and terrifying, there is much more to him than meets the eye. He has a very compelling story, and some of the stuff that happened I really was not expecting. It's easily one of my favorite character stories in the game so far. Of course, I'm not gonna spoil what happens, because you guys just gotta play the game and find out for yourself just how crazy this update is. I promise you will not be disappointed, but maybe prepare a box of tissues, because it's gonna get emotional. Everyone already loves this cookie, and honestly same. He's so cool. And when I saw his design, I was very excited to draw him. Admittedly, I typically draw cute girls, but Silent Salt Cookie is the polar opposite, with a very cool, dark, and spooky design. I know his helmet is his most prominent feature, however, I still really wanted to show his face in some way, so I drew his mask as a half mask. The lore behind this choice could be that in battle, half of his mask was slashed off, revealing some of his face, but since it only shows half, he's still very mysterious. I already know so many Silent Salt Cookie fans would pay to see his face behind that helmet. It would be like the equivalent of seeing Mystery Saja's eyes. Since his name does have salt in it, I scattered trails of black salt throughout his outfit. Prior to this, I actually had no idea black salt was even a thing. I'm assuming what comes from his helmet is meant to represent hair in some way, or at least looks like it, so I gave him very long black hair. Here is human Silent Salt Cookie. Up next is White Lily Cookie. Being one of the 5 ancients, White Lily Cookie is also very close friends with Pure Vanilla Cookie. She appears with white braided hair and bright red eyes, and also has a flower in her hair while holding her lily staff. Her dress is a leaf and is also wearing a green translucent cape. This cookie is often described as kind, considerate, and soft-spoken. She cares deeply for the other cookies, even having dedicated her younger years to studying on how the creation of cookies came to be. She's always believed that cookies should be free to live their lives, regardless of what they were created for. In their younger years, her and Pure Vanilla Cookie bonded through sharing the same beliefs and their similar interests in learning more about the world. However, in doing so, she went down a very dark path. Due to her immense curiosity and desire to know the truth, she discovered many dark truths about the universe that was too much to handle, learning about things that were forbidden that she wasn't supposed to know. This resulted in her committing great taboos, completely changing her, and her actions accidentally resulted in the creation of Dark Enchantress Cookie. After realizing how much pain her actions have caused, she feels immense guilt, and these feelings only push White Lily Cookie to fight even harder to save Cookie kind, even if that means putting herself in danger. She's a bomber type cookie that's positioned in the middle. Her skill, Lilybud, deals periodic damage to enemies up to 3 hits in a span of 1.2 seconds, and any enemies affected by the skill become entangled in binds, becoming unable to move or use skills. When she reaches 21 stacks of Lily Restoration, she purifies all debuffs from her allies and heals them. She's also immune to the effects of mushroom mutation and spore dispersal. And fun fact, white lily flowers are said to represent innocence and purity, but are also well known as representing rebirth, renewal, and hope. All of these things relate back to White Lily Cookie's past and her present. She was once an innocent and pure cookie with no cracks, but once discovering many truths and committing acts of taboo, she was born into a completely different version of herself, in more ways than one. Despite all the trauma and pain that she has faced, White Lily Cookie continues to be courageous and fight for what she believes in. Her resolve and determination is definitely represented within the newest chapter, refusing to give up even against the terrifying Silent Salt Cookie. I swear, every single chapter of Cookierun Kingdom just keeps getting better and better. With White Lily Cookie being such an important character in this chapter, I knew I had to draw her. Plus, she's definitely one of my top favorites. I drew her eyes with flower petal shapes in them, which I think looks really cool. And I knew I wanted her cape to be extra bedazzled, so I made it even more translucent, while also adding extra details like leaf veins, with some of them even glowing. For her dress, rather than just one leaf, I made it multiple layers, which allows it to flow and look really magical. To bring everything together, I also put some leaves wrapped around her waist as a nice centerpiece. And on her arms, I paired the green bandages with some vines and also some flower petals. Of course, I added some extra dewdrops on her dress because they're my favorite part of her outfit. It just makes her look 10 times more magical. This is definitely one of my favorite color palettes. Here is Human White Lily Cookie. The next cookie we're baking up is Pure Vanilla Cookie. Being the leader of the 5 ancient heroes, Pure Vanilla Cookie is the former cookie of the Vanilla Kingdom. He appears with light hair and gentle eyes, wearing a waffle cone hat that also looks like a crown, and a robe further complemented by more accents of waffle. A bright blue soul gem sits in the middle, and he can also be seen holding a vanilla flower with one eye. Being a kind-hearted, wise, and faithful leader who deeply cares for all of the cookies within the kingdom, he always puts everyone before himself, devoting his life to protecting the cookies. Even when Dark Enchantress Cookie declares war on the the Vanilla Kingdom, Pure Vanilla Cookie sacrifices himself to stop her from destroying the kingdom, attempting to banish her with a final spell. However, this spell trapped the kingdom and Pure Vanilla Cookie with it, freezing time within the kingdom. Many places were overcome by the evil forces. Over the years of being trapped, he had lost many memories. But after finally being discovered by the cookies after being trapped for so long, Pure Vanilla Cookie slowly regains his memories and becomes his true self again through the power of friendship. For his stats, he's a healing cookie positioned in the rear, and his skill is very useful, granting amplify buffs to regular healing targets, replenishing the party's HP, and reducing the effects of injury. And he also absorbs damage. So yeah, definitely a cookie you want in your team. We can also see that Pure Vanilla Cookie is particularly fond of cotton candy sheep, which is the cutest thing ever. Also, something I find very interesting is when he literally transforms just like a magical girl, his hair gets super duper long, when prior to this, his hair was short. Part of me wishes he got to have long hair in this form as well, just because it's so beautiful. I can't decide whether or not I like this design or this one more. Either way, in his human form, I drew him with long hair because I love it so much. For the most part, I did keep a lot of the same elements as his original design, while moving some things around and adding my own pieces. I added some extra vanilla flowers on his design, just like his staff. I guess you could say I just thought he could have more vanilla in him, even though he's literally made of vanilla. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this pattern on his white dress is most likely a vanilla bean paste dripping down. Some people think it's chocolate, but for his concept, vanilla bean paste just makes more sense. So in my version, I turned that pattern into vanilla bean pods with a frayed design, and I think it looks very cool. In his hair, I scattered some vanilla freckles that you often see in super fancy vanilla bean ice cream. I love how this turned out. I think as a human, he looks so majestic. Here is human Pure Vanilla Cookie. Thank you broskies so much for watching. This video has been requested so much, and I had so much fun drawing the cookies as humans. I definitely want to draw more. Be sure to download Cookierun Kingdom using the link in the description, and I promise you guys will love this new update, along with the limited time stuff that you definitely don't want to miss out on. Thank you so much to Cookierun Kingdom for sponsoring this video. And with that, I'll see you broskies in the next one. Bye!